Welcome back to another card examination grading video. Today we have Clawitzer. This is from Mega Evolution. This is another one I pulled in that same booster box with the Mega Latias EX. So I'm excited to get started here. We're gonna jump right in. If you've seen any of the other videos, you're familiar, but I'll explain as I'm going. We always start off with centering. And for centering, we are measuring the outside borders in millimeters and comparing them to their opposite opposing side. Closer they are in size, the better, obviously. So we have, looks to be 2.5 millimeters. Two and a half millimeters. That looks to be right. Just the camera there. And then on the right hand side we have 2 millimeters. Just above 2 millimeters, but that's not quite 2.25. So that's 2 millimeters. We have 2.5 by 2. Now let's measure the top and bottom. Hope everyone's having a great day today. We've got 2.5 there on the top. And we've got 2.5 on the bottom. So good top to bottom ratios. Now we'll go right along to the backhand side. Start with the left and right. Looks like 2 3/4 on the left hand side. And that is 3.5 on the right hand side. I'm gonna go back to the left real quick just to be sure we measured that right. Yeah, that's 2 3/4 by 3.5. Two and 3/4 by 3.5. And then for the top border here, it's almost 4 millimeters. This is 3 3/4. And then the bottom there is 3.5. 3.25, 3.5, but it looks a little closer to the half to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that that's 3.5 there. So overall, good centering. Not prismatic 10, but gem mint 9 standards for sure. The front facing side really only had 0.5 millimeter difference from the left and right, and the top and bottom centering were perfect. But the backhand side is just a little bit too egregious there. So we are now going to check the corners. The Pokemon card corners are cut to 3.175 millimeters, and we are checking to see how close to perfectly rounded those corners are. That one looks good. All four corners on this card look really decent too. Everybody knows I feel like corners is the hardest thing to get wrong on these cards, but it does happen sometimes. So now we are going to examine the surface. First, we are going to give it a gentle little rub down, remove any debris and dirt. And for surface, as far as Excalibur grading goes, we are looking everything inside of the borders. So we are going to first, I am going to examine the card with my flashlight from different angles, see if I can see anything that's wrong with the card. Card really does look okay for the most part. Um, I can't see any external flaws. All these cards that I'm grading right now, I've pulled fresh from packs and put them in sleeves and top loaders immediately after. So we are going to go and check out the card, looking for any damage, dents, scratch, rips, tears, misprints, missing pixels or colors or anything like that. Hollow pattern looks great on this card. I'm not sure when Clawitzer was introduced in the Pokemon franchise. It was definitely, I believe, after I stopped playing. I believe. I don't remember Clawitzer in Diamond or Pearl. But nobody, there will never be a crab. I mean, I guess Clawitzer is more of a shrimp, maybe? I mean, he got a big old claw. So he kind of fooled me there. I was going to say Krabby will always be the only crab, the best crab in my heart. But look at him. He might be a shrimp as well. That's a very shrimp-like body. Shrimp with claws. Shrimp with death cannon, I should say. And you'll notice that this card doesn't really have a textured surface, so no need to examine the texture on this card. We are just going through and looking at colors, text, any missing cells on the hollow foil, anything like that. The art on this card looks really nice too. Um, I think I've always appreciated the art that looks more like paintings, um, and that everybody has their own type of aesthetic that they like for cards, and it's not to say that you can't like more than one thing, obviously, but just like the Mega Latias that we graded a couple days ago, the cards that just look like um, art, they all look like art, but like a painting, you know what I mean? I really do appreciate those ones a lot. And Clawitzer, Has that same different kind of painting, but it has that vibe for me. Very nice contrast with the yellow and the blue there. And the front surface looks good. Just gonna look this over one more time. Reading all the text. And now we'll go ahead and check out the back surface of the card there. Just wanted to make sure everything looked good. Oh, let me give this a wipe down real quick. Oops, sorry. Okay. I hope that you guys appreciate the up close look at the cards and everything. I figure that once I start grading other people's cards and putting them in the database, nothing really like I like the way that tag does things where they give you the report of exactly what's going on with the card. And I figured the only way to do better than that would be to send a video of literally a close-up examination of the card. So I'm really trying to follow in that philosophy where complete transparency, or as much transparency as possible, is always the best way to go. And if you're doing the right thing, you don't have anything to hide either. Plus, I've always wanted to do YouTube. Looks like we have maybe just some tiny, you can see those there when you change the, I'll come back to those. I'll note that those are there, but everything in order. We'll come back to that. Those look like micro. I don't really know what a good word is for them. They're not really scratches because none of the card material or color is removed, but I'm not exactly sure what causes those, but they are there. They cannot be ignored, unfortunately, so that is going to account for the grade on this card. And it looks like this might be the first card where we have to measure some damage and see what's going on. So in terms of the surface of the card, there's no damage on the actual surface within the borders. So now we are going to check the actual borders of the card and to see what the edges are looking like. So we'll start at the top left hand side and we'll just move right and go all around. And everything looks good so far. Okay. Moving right along here. Edges on the front look good. Nothing too discernible, but now we get to the back and we remember that on the right hand side of the card there, we were able to detect some maybe micro abrasions, micro scratches are the right word. They're very small, very minute. You can barely detect that they're there, but they are there. Right there, you can see. And if you shift the card just a little bit, you know, you can, it's not there, but let me grab my pointing tool. I'm sure everybody can see it, but micro abrasion right there, like a micro scratch. And you can't see it from, let me see, let me pick up the card. Let me grab my flashlight again now that I know what I'm looking at. And yeah, you can't really tell from looking at the card from, like, if you're holding it, what is this, maybe 6 or 7 inches from your face. Oh wow, memes. You can't really detect anything, but when you are looking under the microscope, you can see it more clearly. So let's measure that. Let's measure that. And it is micro damage, so it still might be able to do well so long as it's not too big. Oops. That is about 1, 2, 3, about 3.5 millimeters of micro damage. Let me write that down. So 3.5 millimeters of micro damage on that particular area. Let's keep scanning to see if there's any more. Give this card a wipe down. Okay. Okay. It looks like that area was the only spot that had, I mean, that might be a little bit too right there. Hold on. It looks like there's just a tiny bit there as well. Let me see. I don't think that it's not really as prominent as this one is. That one's clearly jumping out at you, but that one not so much. So I don't think I'm going to count that. So 3.5 millimeters of micro damage does still qualify it for mint 8 in that category. So it gets an 8 in edges. So it's got a score of 9, 10, 10, and 8. And that gives it a 9.25, which comes out to a grade of a Gem Mint 9. So we are going to get started with that. You guys know the drill by now. I need to print out the sleeves and get everything set. So I'll be right back, you guys. Give me just 1 second. Okay, we are back. I got everything ready except for the slab tag because I am slow. So the slab itself. Let me sleeve that first. Okay, got that. We have those. Make sure that's on the right side. Yep. And then let me just go grab. We got the slab here, so first we need to assemble the tag. All right. Fantastic. So, you guys know how it goes from this point. Take the slab out. Place that gently there. Got a little air blast there. You know, I know we just open these every time, but gotta give it a little air blast too. So, Clawitzer, welcome to your new home. Hopefully no fiendish monster ever takes you out from here. And then we put our tag ever so gently there. Okay. And now the UV glue. We are going to do. We need to be really careful how much glue we put on here. That is really the important thing. I've been trying to finesse the amount of glue that I use and how I have it spread on here, because when I close the slab up, sometimes it looks a little funky when the glue gets splattered places that it's not supposed to be. But I'm getting better and better at it. The last one I didn't have anything crazy obnoxious. This one doesn't look like it's going to have any spill out either, which is good. Oh, maybe just a tiny bit escaped there, but overall I think it's okay. So, thank you guys for joining me on another card examination here at Excalibur. Everybody, I don't even know what I'm talking about. You know, I started this because I think grading should be a science, not an art. I really, like I said, appreciate the way that Tag does things. Transparency is always the best policy. And I thought, what better way to let people know that their cards are being graded accurately by having a public grading rubric and also doing the card examinations and recording them. So I appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, I've got my first event coming up here on April 11th where I'm going to be conditioning cards and also giving away some of my slabs, maybe. I'm not sure yet. Like I said, I promised them to you guys as subscribers. Gem Mint 9, Clawitzer Mega Evolution. You can see it says Excalibur up there behind the QR code. Next examination that we are going to do, we've got Teal Mask Ogerpon here. Looking forward to doing this one as well. Very, very nice looking card here. So join me on the next one. I hope that you guys have a banging rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.